Hey, so in case you didn't know, my name is Jeff Dares. This channel is Dares Drives, and we're currently converting a 2019 Mercedes Sprinter 4x4 van into a serious overland, off-grid, self-sustainable roaming machine. If you like that kind of thing, maybe hit that subscribe button. But here's what we're doing in this episode. We're removing the rear tires off the back of the van so that we can install Boss airbags underneath it. Now, I must warn, just because we put airbags in does not mean that we can carry more weight than what the manufacturer initially suggests. What this means is you can get closer to that maximum weight without the back end of the vehicle sagging down. Which of course, when the vans sag down like that, it decreases your gas mileage, it makes it not handle as good going down the highways, makes it bumpier, all those kind of things that in a camper type van, the smoother the ride, the longer everything's gonna last. So we bought this kit from the Sprinter store online. It was very well packed, coming with your left and right airbags, your 4 mounting brackets, also with the air inlet valve attached on a swivel. You got your 2 mounting brackets that go in the top bump stop, your 2 U-bolts for around the axle, and your full mounting hardware kit with Schrader valves and bolts to assemble everything together. Now assembling these airbags is very straightforward. We're going to take our top plate and our bottom plate, sandwich the airbag in between the two of them, and just make sure that our bottom bracket and our top bracket line up with each other so they go in straight when they're inside the van. Now, using the hardware that came along with this kit to assemble the brackets on the top and the bottom of the airbags. Unfortunately, once we got the bags all assembled and put them underneath the van, that's like 4 inches away. What? That ain't right either. These are made for a Sprinter 2500. Oh, no way, really? Hold on. Now, although we did have these problems, the Sprinter store was great about it. They admitted that this was the first 2019 they've had to do with it. So it's obviously the first complaint they've had that it didn't work. They were very good about it. And now they've already changed their website. The link that you'd actually purchase from for a 4x4 van now looks like this. It's one of the pictures Richard and I shared with each other. And so really my problem that I've had here became irrelevant. So I'm not going to share too many details about it. What I am going to do, so if you're looking to put airbags into your 2019 4x4 Sprinter and you called the Sprinter store, this is what they would have offered you before Jeff Dares decided to do the install. Now, this is what you're going to get offered, which is a 3-bag system, because that does not actually fit like the documents say it should. This is what you're actually going to get. You're welcome. So now that we have the proper airbags, we're going to go in and we're going to pull the top bump stop off the van. And now, I got this bump stop off. So I'm going to take our T55 Torx bit, use a wrench as a snipe, break it loose. Okay, there's one. There we go, bump stop off. We just did a weight reduction on our van. That thing's heavy. That's what it looks like there. That's pure steel, man. That's heavy, heavy. With the bump stop off, now we have to get this flange and we got to cut this off so it doesn't interfere with the airbag itself. Now I tried with a reciprocating saw, I tried with a skill saw, but there just was not enough room to fit any of our mechanical tools into there. So what I did is I took a pry bar and pried it out a bit and then used our hand saw and started cutting away. That is a freaking workout, man. Bang! Woo! Woo! How much fun is that? That ain't going back on. Hold on. I gotta figure a new camera angle. Maybe catch my breath even. Woo! And from this angle, you can kind of see how the airbag's gonna sit on top of the axle and right underneath the little holder where that top bump stop was. So with this top holder, we're going to have to take our plate that was pre-drilled and came with the kit, we're going to have to install it into that holder. So we're just going to slide it into the side. It does state it might need to be ground. Ours did not. We just had to actually use a light hammer and just tapped it in until it sat in place. From here, you'll see the top of the airbags. The holes are actually slotted. So we're going to install one screw into one of those pre-drilled holes. Then we're going to install the bag with the slot into that screw, and then put our second screw in and thread them on. Of course, ensure you thread them the right direction so you don't just go unthreading them again all just to create more work. But when we do finally get it all bolted into place properly, we can now look down, and we got to put the U-bolt around the axle to hold the bottom spot in place. Of course I get. But you get the point of that. Let me bring you up to the top when this is all finished. Bada bing, bada boom. That's what the airbags look like when they're fully installed. Pretty sweet, eh? So now we gotta add some airlines. So for the airline, I figured it'd be easier to bring in here and use one of these other bags to show you how this works. So on your top plate, and it has this fitting. So basically you're just gonna take your fitting, make sure your cut is perfectly straight so it's not going to leak, and you're just going to shove it straight into that hole. Okay, and once you shove it in there, it's going to be secure and not come back out. And if you want to remove it, you just push in on that fitting and yank it back out. But once you put it in, it's going to be solid and nothing's going to leak. So now, with that airline plugged in to the airbag itself, I'm going to get underneath the van, and we're going to zip tie the actual airline to the frame of the van, up and over top of the exhaust, and run it towards a central meeting point where we can hook up our T-valve. I'm going to use the T-valve and one Schrader. So basically I'll be able to fill the airbags from one fitting, which means both bags will fill up at the same time with the same amount of pressure. Now to mount this T-fitting up underneath that van, we need to make a bracket. So I took some aluminum, we cut off a strip that kind of looks like that, then we took it to the drill and drilled a hole in which the T-fitting will actually fit right through the center. Then we put it back in the vise, just used a hammer and our hands to bend it into the place and shape we needed, and bada bing bada boom, that's what we ended up with. A couple zip ties, we were able to fit it into the bracket, and we're ready to get back under the van. So now that we have this all in place, we're just going to take our line, make sure we got a really sharp pair of scissors so we can get a perfectly straight line. I'm just going to make it a little longer than it has to be. Okay, so you've got a nice clean cut, and this is just going to push right in. Boom. And now that we've done the exact same thing on this side and ran the wire up and connected it to our T-fitting, we have one fitting left for one hose that we can run out back of the van as our fill point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to run it up underneath the spare tire, which is going to be really hard for you guys to see. Oh, and I'll see you at the back of the van. Sound good? Let's do it. I'm pretty positive though, this wind's dirtiest job yet. Look at us. This is terrible, but we're almost done. So now down here, you'll see I've let the spare tire down, and underneath there, whoa, you can't see nothing, hold on. Whew. Crank that ISO, kid. So now with the spare tire down, you can see where the hose is coming through. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it around. I'm going to hook it into these wires with our zip ties so it just stays up there nice and tight and nothing's going to get pulled down. Cut off our tabs. And there's our airline out. So now, I can actually put our spare tire back up and have full access to everything. Can I do this with you guys sitting right there? Oh, that's heavy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. So now with the spare tire back up and everything run, you'll see we have our one line coming out. We had 2 lines going in, 1 on each airbag, of course, as you just watched. Now we have our 1 Schrader valve, which is our air fill center. So we're just going to push that in there. Clips in. And if we take off the cap, you'll see it fills just like a normal tire. Now I only went with 1 Schrader valve because now it's 1 spot to fill both airbags. I'm not going to be doing any load leveling with them or anything. I just want to fill them up so the back end of the van doesn't sag. And this way, if we ever did get a puncture, they both deflate instead of 1 staying inflated, 1 deflating, then just a whole nother world of problems. So that's the reason for doing what we did. Now I'm not actually going to install this into my bumper because we do have another part coming that this is going to install into. But you guys are going to have to wait for another video for that. So with that being said, that's another one in the books. Another project done, another video made. We're golden, my friends. So if you haven't subscribed and you made it this far, maybe consider hitting that button. I don't know. You do you. No pressure. If you have subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course we will see you next Sunday. Perfect.